I think it depends on what part of the organization that you're in. So you make sure you're in an organization, part of the organization, because it could be product or international or marketing or UX. I mean, I've been in every engineering, I've been in QA. And just make sure that the executive you have that oversees that is a champion for the space. And if they're not, just make sure that, I guess, before you join, just make sure the company is ready to go on the international journey, right? When it comes to not being able to get the support, maybe in headcount, which is really hard for us to get in localization, that happens to me all the time. They'll give me headcount. They won't give me headcount, but they'll give me money. So see if they can give you funding, and then you hire Vistatec. You need to make sure that you have a flexible.
We didn't tell her to say that.
No, she didn't. I promise. The point being, you just need to make sure you have a really flexible language partner that will do more than just translate for you, right? So Vistatec handles a lot of my project management for me, and did right from the get-go, because I was just one person and I had 150 people coming to me at once, like, oh my gosh, we're so glad you're here. Can you translate this for me? No. So I think you just need to make sure that if you can't get headcount, maybe you can get funding. And if you can get the funding, make sure that when you hire externally, that you make sure that your project management goes to that external vendor, and you focus on building the pipeline by which the execution occurs, right? And I think I spend a lot of time explaining that to my partners when they ping me and they're like, how's that project going, Nicole? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I watch it go through the pipeline, and if it breaks, then I'm like, I get in there, with my team. But at the scale we need to operate in the future, I won't be able to involve myself on a project level. When it comes to, I find that the maturity model, I think it's the CSA maturity model, is really effective at explaining to executives who are brief, bright, gone, which is like, give it to me like quick and dirty and then get out, right? Is a really good way to explain to them, like, this is where we are. And then you point to negligent on that, and they're like, oh, that's terrible, right? That's like a big, ugly word in red on that grading scale. And I found that's been really effective. And I even was in an elevator with an executive one time, and she leaned over and she's like, where are we on the scale now? And like, so it kind of sticks in their brain, because, metrics and measurement are really important. And it's really important to know what you can measure and how you can measure. That's something else I try to do really early too, is establish metrics and measurement and radiate them pretty regularly, either via a dashboard and something like Jira, or in, some of the many data metrics measuring tools that are out there. I don't know which ones you use, or I do it through my newsletter. So, and then you just keep singing it. So the other thing I tell people all the time, I tell my team, is when I join companies at this point in time, some folks are really excited to go on the internationalization and globalization journey. And some of the folks at the company aren't, right? They were startup and they get in really early, and that's who they are in their careers. Like, I build things from nothing. And that is really exciting and valuable. And then when you tell them, hi, I'm new and I'm here to scale, and you have ugly babies, and everything you've built is ugly, they're like, oh, I don't want to go with you anywhere, right? They don't want to hear me telling them that something they built won't work for, Germany and Spain. And so I tell my team, sometimes one of the best things you can do, and this kind of stinks, but it's true, is outlast, right? Like, make sure your messaging and your strategy and your approach is consistent, and just keep it consistent. And sometimes you just have to wait for your startup folks to be like, okay, it's time for me to go start something new, and your scalers to join your organization. That's not the most positive and exciting message or best approach, but it's my last resort. Like, okay, well, I understand where you are. This is where we're going. If you're not going to come, like, I'm going to find the people that will, and have them help me radiate my message.